we'll continue on that journey, and you'll see a pickup in strategic M&A.
A few years ago, maybe 10 years ago or so, it seemed like half the classes at Harvard, Yale, Princeton, Stanford, other really good schools wanted to go to Goldman Sachs right out of college. Is that still the case? People still rushing in? How many employees do you have coming in, or prospective employees every year? And can you take all these people, or is it gone down and people now want to go into tech startups or public service or something?
Well, there's a lot of competition for good people in the world. You know, Goldman Sachs it feels very good about where it sits competitively to attract people. We had 265,000 applications for 2,600 analyst jobs out of university, and we had over 1 million people apply for positions at Goldman Sachs last year. We have 45,000 employees at Goldman Sachs. So it's certainly a very interesting, compelling place for people to come learn, meet other people, grow, gain experience. A small portion of them stay and build their careers in our organization. That's the way it's always been. Most of them go out into the world and wind up at events like this or running businesses, doing all sorts of interesting things. So we have a compelling, I think, human capital ecosystem. I think all businesses like ours, all professional services businesses, have to have a very compelling, competitive ecosystem for talent. Talent is so important in all the businesses around the table. If you don't find your own way of having that compelling ecosystem, if you don't give people good experience, good education, good mentorship, good economic opportunity, an ability to meet and network with people that they want to be around, it makes it much more challenging over time to run a good business.
Okay, and let me ask you another question. You asked your employees to come back, or maybe told your employees to come back. Are they coming back and they're actually physically in the office now?
Our business is by and large operating the same way now, on a global basis, the same way now as it did before the pandemic. I would say in the United States on Fridays, there's a slight difference versus what there was before the pandemic, but we're pretty close. And I'd also amplify that we run a big global business. We operate in 50 countries. Outside of the United States, there's a lot less discussion about this issue than there is inside the United States. But for our organization, we have encouraged, and I think people have realized they want to be together. 50% of the people who work at Goldman Sachs are in their 20s. When you're in your 20s, you want to be with other people, learning, growing, experiencing. So we've managed to get our organization, we think, to a very good place.
Okay. Shamara, I guess you're used to being last because W is